Azona binti Ahmad, and today I would like to discuss about Sony Ericsson Xperia Mini Pro. So it has two topics, which is first is the usability use, and second is user experience. So usability use is divided into 5 points. The first point is effective to use. So for example, for the effective to use is we can really make calls, we can send message, you can take pictures, so it's really effective. Secondly is the efficient to use. So for example, if I press home button and the device is immediately shows the home interface, so I think it's really efficient. It also is safe to use, and it has a good utility because the functionalities are very simple. It's really intuitive and nice interface, makes the application easy to use. And then so for the fourth point is easy to use. So it's really easy because it's only take, for my experience, only take about 1 hour for me to learn this device. So I think it's really easy to use. And the lastly is easy to remember. So what I would like to highlight in this point is, if you can see from the home button, it has that home like house logo. So it really makes user to easy remember what it does. So let's go to the user experience. It divided into two, which is desirable and undesirable design. So for the desirable design, so first up is the screen. So Sony Xperia Mini Pro has medium size of screen, which is not big and not small. So I think it's great. Secondly is ergonomic. So what I like to talk about ergonomic is it really easy to grab. So I see a lot of new handphone is really big and really like hard to grab it. So I think it's really not ergonomic. But this Sony Ericsson Xperia easy to grab. So I think it's very ergonomic. Features, like I said, features. Sony Ericsson has a lot of features. You can take pictures on it, you can record, you can send message, you can call. So I think the features is really fun and interesting. And lastly, it's helpful. Because if you are a user like me who don't like to send messages using touchscreen, because I usually accidentally touch other words, so it really frustrating me. So Sony Ericsson Xperia really helps me because it has this buttons for typing, so I think I can send message really quickly, and yeah, it's okay. So that's why it's really helpful. So for undesirable design, easily damaged. It really easily to damage. As you can see from my phone, it really damaged. My screen already got scratched. My behind got already a lot crack. So I think it's really easily damaged. Poor camera. Although it say HD, high definition, but it's easily, but it didn't. The camera not so clear. It got blurred. So I think it's really poor camera. Too expensive. Yeah. I think about this handphone, I think the pricing is about 500, but I got this for the first time I bought this is about 799 ringgit, so I think it's kind of expensive. And expensive accessories, really limited accessories, because when I go to any handphone store, I see a lot of iPhone accessories, and for Sony Xperia iPhone, I cannot get any of the accessories. Very limited, I think. So that's all for today, and thank you.
Hey guys, this is Simon Sage from Into Mobile. Today we're taking a look at the Sony Ericsson Xperia Mini Pro, It is a tiny little 3-inch phone here that Sony Ericsson has released in Europe and is available now in Canada on Rogers and may someday come down to the US. It's got a little slide-out QWERTY keyboard here, very interesting, unique form factor, and it hits on a lot of really good points. Very smooth and responsive. It runs Android 2.3 on a 1 GHz processor. It's got a 5 megapixel camera on the back here with LED flash. Can shoot at 720p video recording, which is kind of nice. Nothing on that side. We got a camera, convenience key, and a volume rocker up top there. Over here we've got the micro USB slot, the headphone jack, and the lock power key. Down here we just got a lanyard loop, and the microphone is on the inside here. There we go. So there's a couple things that I really like about the Mini Pro here. Just in terms of the UI, a lot of the stuff you will have already seen from the Xperia Arc. For example, when you're throwing out widgets, it's got this really cool wobble effect I'm a big fan of, and you can toss them in the trash, and there's a cool little animation there. One thing that I like that Sony Ericsson has done for the smaller screen are icons in the 4 corners here. So they're all user adjustable. So down here I've got some of my social media stuff, Foursquare and GetGlue. If I want to throw one out, I could just hold it down and toss it out. And if I want to bring it back, I could just find GetGlue somewhere here. Oh wait, you know what? I've changed my sorting here. This is another cool thing that Sony Ericsson does that you don't see in a lot of places. You can change the sorting for the main application menu here, which is actually really helpful. I found that on other phones I don't always necessarily want to have stuff in alphabetical order. But anyway, if I want to bring that back over here, just drop it right back in. So very cool, and a very smart way to maximize use of the screen real estate here. Because it is a little tiny. Let's be fair here. 3 inches isn't huge, but with the full slide-out keyboard there, you really get everything you need. Browsing, I find, is perfectly fine here. We can even just pull up the browser here and show you what that's like. So this is the virtual keyboard here. We can change that to different modes, but I'm gonna type with physical keyboard for now. I find the keyboard is it's got a really nice matte finish, so grip is not an issue. I do have to kind of figure out where all the keys are after being stuck with BlackBerry for so long. So there is one thing you might have noticed along the bottom there, is that it brings up an automated correction bit, even if you're typing on the keyboard here and you already kind of know what you're typing. So I had to hit enter twice there, once to verify what it was I was typing, and again to actually launch the browser into the site. So I've always found that's a little bothersome, just because there's not a lot of screen real estate to work with. So if you're even just using the touchscreen keyboard, then you really don't have a lot of other screen to work with the correction bar down there. So here we go. It's loading up intomobile.com. We're on Rogers HSPA network right now, and I found my connection has been cutting out every once in a while. That may just as well be because of Rogers, as well as it could be the phone. But pinch to zoom works fine here. And yeah, no, it's for a device with such a small screen, this is actually good enough for me. Certainly, you know, you aren't going to be watching full movies on here, although you could, because Sony Ericsson has this new service on here called Curiosity. Of course, Sony has a ton of rights to various movies and music. Where is it here? Video. There we go. This is a new service Sony Ericsson has launched recently, where you can buy and rent movies from your phone. So for a bigger handset like the Xperia Arc, this makes sense, but on a phone like this, that's so small, it doesn't seem particularly worthwhile. But you know, we've got Breaking Bad here. You can pull up a quick trailer to see what the latest episode is about. Oh, and you can only load it up over Wi-Fi. But anyway, it's asking $2.49 for one episode of Breaking Bad, so not too shabby. But I would rather just catch all the shows at once, maybe once they're released on DVD. Sony Ericsson also releases a lot of their own just kind of useful apps, right? This one's called Life Contacts, which populates these little tiles with your most recent and frequent contacts. So you just tap it and you're launched into them. So email, text, whatever you have associated with that contact. So I find stuff like that is kind of helpful. There's also the usual apps that come preloaded, like Facebook, Twitter. There's Google Latitude on here for tracking where your friends are going, as well as Foursquare. So obviously I find the application market great for Android, and I haven't had too many issues with compatibility on the smaller screen here. The screen resolution is perfectly fine, and as you can see, very responsive. There's one really cool little animation here that a lot of phones already do, this large overview so you can see all of your home screens at once, but I just kind of like how fluid that is. They're all just kind of floating around here. I mean, I usually use a BlackBerry, so this is probably more novel to me than it is for most folks, but you can see they all kind of zoom in and out as you pinch. Kind of cool. One nitpicky thing that I've been having issues with, and this has been an ongoing thing with any Sony Ericsson Android phone that I've had for the last little while, is that it doesn't do well with third-party headphones with inline mics. I've tried 3 different sets. I got just one of them here. It's a Sony Ericsson, it's Bose in-ear headphones. Got an inline mic here, and every time you plug it in, it just says device not supported. So you either have to wobble out the headphone jack just a little bit to get it right. See, there we go, accessory not supported. So I can get it to play music fine without having to hold down the microphone key here if it's just kind of pulled out halfway, but generally it's a little irritating. So I wouldn't pick this phone if music is a big deal for you necessarily, although Sony Ericsson does have Walkman branded phones. I'm not sure if they've got the same issue though. Anyway, feel free to swing by intomobile.com for our full review of the Sony Ericsson Xperia Mini Pro.